Welcome in, beloved one. Set your heart on things above. This is the Royal Bride WordCast, where the King keeps speaking love. Come and rest in His presence. Hear His heartbeat in every word. Daughter, son, you are His treasure. Let your spirit be stirred. The Royal Bride WordCast, where heaven's promise is heard.
Welcome to the Royal Bride WordCast. Today, I present the truth in love. There is a growing sound in our generation, a sound of opinions, a sound of arguments, a sound of endless responses. Everyone has something to say. Everyone has a platform. Everyone has a microphone. And perhaps never before has it been easier to speak what we believe to be true. But in all the noise, I have found myself asking a simple question. Do we truly know what truth sounds like? As believers, whenever we encounter something we disagree with, there is often an immediate urge to respond, to correct, to expose, to defend, to counter. The culture around us rewards quick reactions. Social media thrives on controversy. Algorithms amplify conflict. And before long, many who claim to be defending truth are simply participating in another cycle of accusation. But the bride of Christ must be different. Because truth is not merely information, truth is a person. Jesus did not say, I know the truth. He said, I am the truth. Listen, beloved, this changes everything. Because when the truth becomes information only, it can be weaponized. When truth becomes a person, it must carry his nature. Now, the tragedy of our generation is not the absence of truth. It is the absence of love and the delivery of it. Truth without love becomes accusation. And love without truth becomes compromise. But Christ came full of both, full of grace and full of truth. Not one at the expense of the other. The religious leaders of his day possessed facts. They knew scriptures. They knew the laws. They knew traditions. Yet when truth himself stood before them, they could not recognize him. Why? Because truth is more than being right. Truth is the expression of the nature of God. This is why I've become increasingly concerned whenever believers celebrate being correct more than they celebrate being Christ-like. Winning an argument has never been the goal of this kingdom. Revealing Christ is. And this is where we must be honest with ourselves. Every one of us possesses a mind, a history, experiences, preferences, wounds, biases, and perspectives. As long as we're speaking merely from ourselves, we may sincerely believe we're speaking truth while only speaking our interpretation of it. This is why Scripture calls us to something higher, to receive the mind of Christ. The greatest challenge facing the church may not be the lack of information. It may be the lack of transformation. We do not need more opinions. We need more of His mind. Because when the mind of Christ governs a believer, something changes. We become slower to accuse, slower to react, slower to condemn, and quicker to understand, quicker to restore, quicker to love. The world teaches us to respond. The Spirit teaches us to discern. The world says, defend your position. Christ says, follow me. The world asks, how quickly can you enter? The bride asks, does my response sound like my beloved? That is a very different question. Perhaps one of the greatest tests of spiritual maturity is not whether we can identify error. Perhaps it is whether we can reveal Christ while doing so. The Spirit of truth never operates independently from the Spirit of love. The two are inseparable. And whenever truth loses its love, it ceases to sound like heaven. The mature bride understands this. She does not speak to win. She speaks to heal. She does not speak to elevate herself. She speaks to reveal her King. She does not just carry information. She carries His presence. Beloved, before you respond to the next offense, the next controversy, the next disagreement, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this merely my opinion? Or is this the mind of Christ? Am I speaking to be heard? Or am I speaking to reveal Him? Because in the end, the goal is not that the world will hear our voices. The goal is that the world would hear His voice. And perhaps through unity will not come because everyone agrees on every issue. Perhaps true unity comes when the people of God become so yielded to Christ that His mind becomes their mind, His heart becomes their heart, and His truth becomes visible through His love. The royal bride is not just a defender of truth. She is a reflection of the truth. And until next time, oh beloved, remain watchful, remain prepared, remain in love with the one who is truth Himself. This is the Royal Bride WordCast. Continuing your transformation.
Come and rest in His presence. Hear His heartbeat in every word. Daughter, son, you are His treasure. Let your spirit be stirred. The Royal Bride WordCast, where heaven's promise is heard.